Most people spend years focusing on their mortgage, their home, and their investments. But often, one of the biggest financial assets they'll ever own is sitting quietly in the background. It's their KiwiSaver. To help us unpack that, I'm joined by Matthew Hanshay, Investment Distributions Manager at Generate Investment Management. We're going to learn a little bit more about Matthew, what Generate does, why MHQ works alongside them, and why getting good advice around KiwiSaver and managed funds could have a much bigger impact than many people realize. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Simon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, for anyone out there who doesn't know anything about yourself, tell us a bit of an introduction. Why should we listen to you? What have you done to get to in your position in Generate?
Yeah, so I actually started my career at one of New Zealand's largest corporates, and I had a really awesome job for a young buck coming out of uni, and I was effectively handling logistics and selling product to Southeast Asia. So it was a really cool spot. Um, I had a I started off on quite a short-term contract, as I had a pre-booked trip to Europe with six of my best mates, and sort of had that sort of mini OE, I suppose. And whilst I was over there, I sort of realised that actually I could feel the golden handcuffs approaching. You know what I mean? So obviously, often at large corporates, you look to your left. You think you're talking to someone who's been there for 20-something years. Talk to your right, talking to someone who's been in the same job for sort of decade plus longer. And I think I thought for me, well, actually, if I'm going to take a chance and do something, try the road least travelled, I think now could be the time to do it. So when I got back from my trip, obviously had the opportunity to continue doing what I was doing, or I obviously had the opportunity to hunt around and see what else was out there. And I came across Generate. And Generate was at that stage quite an early stage startup, I suppose you'd call them. They were sort of 5 years into their journey, working out of effectively what now is effectively a hotel room. Back then it was a converted apartment building that we were working out of, sort of around 20-ish staff, I guess. And I could tell straight away when I interviewed with the founders that they really had the hunger and passion to build something great, and so I was pretty much sold straight away and really keen to sink my teeth in.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know, a lot of my friends as well that straight out of uni didn't land anything like that, but definitely felt that urge to go to something that is a growing, smaller business.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure there's some resignation there in the viewers. So what exactly is your role now at Generate?
Yeah, so I started off basically in customer services back in 2018, and the really awesome part about that role was because there were so few of us, you got to wear a lot of different hats, and you got to really understand the nuts and bolts of the business across all sort of facets. There were no silos, there weren't sort of separate departments. It was a one team, one dream, and so it was really an amazing experience for me. As I grew on, I developed into what they call a business development manager, working with external advisors, particularly in the KiwiSaver space. Um, and that's really been an important part of Generate's growth journey. Is from the outset, our ethos has been making everyday Kiwis have accessibility towards advice, and obviously financial advisors like yourself, Simon, are integral to that process. So I started working with external advisors, keeping them updated on our products, what we're doing, our tools, our systems, and effectively grew towards that role. I actually left Generate for about 18 months to an institutional investment manager as the head of distribution there. And that was really another great learning experience. I got to understand the institutional market, also the investment advice, like the purely investment advice outside of KiwiSaver as well. And then decided to come back to Generate. We are building a really... there is a great opportunity for us with our managed funds team at Generate, and we're really putting a lot of effort into that as well, and building people's wealth outside of KiwiSaver. And of course, when that opportunity came up, it was hard to say no and get back into the fold at Generate. So I've been back at Generate for about a little over a year now. It sort of feels like I never left, really. But where we are today is just phenomenal. We've got much larger headcount of close to 200, I believe. We've got nice proper offices in Commercial Bay in town, and yeah, we're going from strength to strength. I think closing in on 200,000 KiwiSaver members, and
Wow.
and knocking on the door of 10 billion funds under management. So it's been a great Kiwi growth story, and I feel very privileged to be a part of it.
I find there's a lot of commonality in great leaders and people
Yes,
that provide a lot to companies that start at the bottom and work their way through the different departments as the company grows. You kind of did that at Generate, so you'd be able to be well positioned to tell us, there are a lot of fun, management companies out there, right? Why Generate?
I think we have a genuine care for our customers, and I think one of the main reasons for that is that the people that started the business are still running it today. Very similar group of shareholders. We're not owned by private equity. We're not owned by a bank. We are truly have an enormous amount of skin in the game,
Mm,
and what that means is if our customers do well, we do well. It's really important for our reputation that we look after and that we put our customers first. And because we are long-term operators in terms of how we own the business, we're long-term investors. And what that means is that we can really invest with a long-term mindset that our customers can do well over that period. As mentioned, Kiwi owned and operated, very much the case, and we have a really strong focus on customer service as well. Really happy to win the Consumer NZ award for the sixth time. I don't
yes.
know if you saw that graph, but we got 90% of satisfied customers,
Yeah.
and second place was 75. So big gap there. So we like to think that we are providing a new level in customer service.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree, and it's not unseen. You guys
Yes,
are definitely a leader in the space. Um, what the two things I picked up on there was skin in the game,
yes,
and that you really get that customer care, and a lot of that is through actually advising, right?
yes,
And so we appreciate that relationship that we have as well. For someone out there who went with a default fund or with a bank that they bank at, didn't really think it through, how key is that advice instead of just locking in a fund and forgetting about it?
it's enormously key. And to be honest, the number one thing that we get and that our advisors get from the customers is, why did nobody tell me about this earlier? And that is a genuine feeling that people have when their eyes are open towards the potential that the KiwiSaver has for them. And I was guilty of that when I started at Generate. I had no clue where my KiwiSaver was, didn't know what was in there, didn't know what fund it was. Turns out I was in a defensive fund that had earned me about $50 in returns in 6 years. But that was amended straight away, and quite frankly, KiwiSaver was a massive part of me being able to buy my first home earlier this year. So I'm a perfect example of what KiwiSaver can do for you, and I just think, if you can, advice is so accessible now, and being able to have someone that can talk you through it, someone that can sit across from the other side of the table and provide that reassurance that you're doing the right thing, be able to get you not only in the right fund type, you know, there are not all growth funds are created equal,
Mhm.
and there is, if you look at the performance reports, you can see there is massive differences between growth funds, between the providers. Really important to look at long term on that, and that's where an advisor that understands the data can actually read through it clearly with you.
Mhm.
And then the other part that we're really seeing to make a tremendous impact is contributions.
Mhm. Yes.
There are so many different options for your contributions, and I think the default setting would be, oh well, why would I contribute any more than I need to into my KiwiSaver? And that's a valid point of view, but actually, once you go through the data and can actually see what the compounding effect of those extra contributions can do to accelerate you towards your goals, it becomes a much easier conversation. And when you're contributing, it's coming out of your paycheck. It's not that sort of forced. It is a forced saving, sorry, but it's not. You don't have to make that payment. It's sort of done on your behalf.
Mm.
You tend to adjust to those extra payments,
Yeah.
and before you don't even really think about it. It's sort of just there in the background doing its thing. So I think an advisor's job going forward will be massively tied up in coaching people around the value of contributing extra.
You mentioned that, when you first joined Generate, that you didn't really have a clue. You didn't know where it was and
Yeah.
you didn't really have a concern for it. That was definitely the evolution and the culture here at MHQ when we first started back in a while ago now. And we've definitely evolved. We now apply that advice. We've got a specialist, Annie Turner, who actually does that for us. But the culture has changed. The advisors take it seriously now. They've all used their KiwiSaver to buy their first home, and now they're really putting it into place for their financial planning. So, how does the financial planning piece come into it? You mentioned the KiwiSaver, but you guys also do managed funds. You know, why would someone do managed funds versus KiwiSaver or both?
Yeah, I mean, I think they both work hand in hand really well, and I think on balance, advisors are moving towards more of a holistic view in terms of the services that they provide.
Mm,
And to be honest, I think the development of a lot of the artificial intelligence tools that we're seeing come to market can make advisors much more efficient
mhm,
at working across different products as well. So that's something to be excited about. In terms of how they work together, it really is completely up to your own personal situation, whether you're investing into a managed fund or whether you're investing into a KiwiSaver. I mean, quite often, we're seeing with managed funds really helpful for people in retirement in terms of people that need capital appreciation. So they need to be really sort of investing in within the stock market, for example, that can
mm,
provide them decent returns over long term. But in the short term, they need that liquidity to be able to withdraw and draw on. I think historically people probably would just be tied up in term deposits and things like that.
yeah.
The reality is that if you can grow your capital over the first 10 years of your retirement and then draw down your shorter term assets, then that can actually make for a much more comfortable and longer retirement. So there's many use cases for it. And obviously there is the advantages of being able to withdraw the money that you don't get with KiwiSaver, but then KiwiSaver also has plenty of benefits as well, in the forms of employer contributions, government contributions, and etc. So there's no right answer to that question. I'm a massive fan of both.
Yeah, diving deep into the personal circumstances of any one person is going to bubble those decisions up. Now, um, you've been in the game for a while now. You must have heard some KiwiSaver myths or things that you really don't like hearing. What are those things that you can hear a lot that you'd like to bust today?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I it's not necessarily personal. Vendetta per se, but I certainly don't subscribe to the thought process that passive is better than active, and just throw your money in an index fund with the
Mhm.
cheapest fees and leave it. There are certainly active managers out there that haven't been able to be passive, and that is for sure the case. But there are also plenty of other active managers out there that have delivered consistently strong returns and have invested in their investment team and got the right people in there making the right decisions, following the right processes, and delivering strong results for their customers. So it's to me it sort of feels a bit lazy just to say oh passive is best and leave it at that.
Mm,
I think there's just a lot of extra benefits you can get from active if it's done right.
mm,
And I think one of those pieces as well is diversification. So, for example, people might say, "Oh, just throw your money in an S&P 500 and leave it at that." The reality is now that I think the top seven stocks in the S&P 500 make up close to half of the actual index.
mm,
So you're not getting a hell of a lot of diversification there. There is no systematic risk metrics around it in terms of managing your sector, your sector weights, and making sure that your portfolios are diversified.
mhm.
And so, over the long term, yeah, those top seven stocks have done really well, and we own them as well. We've done really good out of them, but there's so many nuances to investment management, and it's not as simple as just whack it in the cheapest passive fund and go for it. Whereas at Generate, you've got access to a phenomenal investment team that's been in place for a long time. So we're very proud of them and what they've been doing.
Great. Now, you touched on the fact that, the utilization of AI from the advisor front and utilizing these tools, allowing the advice to get out more efficiently, allows them to do more clients, which allows, that role to be paid more essentially.
Mm.
But, this is forward looking. What else do you see on the horizon for KiwiSaver that you're excited about for the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great industry to be a part of, and I think a lot of people are seeing that. We're starting to see the average balances grow up. sorry, we're starting to see the average balances increase. And so we're seeing that, I think, in our average balances is north of 45,000 now. So in
Okay.
every customer, I think when I started, for example, it was closer to 13,000-ish. So
Wow.
you're seeing that people start to have meaningful balances in their KiwiSaver.
Mm.
And that's only going to go one way over the long term. And so I think there's so many things that we can do. We are blessed that we have neighbours across the ditch who have done phenomenal things with their super schemes.
Yeah.
They have a head start on us, there's no doubt about it, and they've got more scale, but they've helped their citizens become some of the wealthiest in the world
Mm.
by committing to their super schemes. And
This may not be your expertise, but you brought that up. I was
yes,
interested. Like one thing that I know that they did overseas in Australia well is the tax incentives in relation to it. Right? Do
yes,
you see something like that? Did you hear about that in the company? Talks with government maybe. Do they come around?
I'll leave that up to our new retirement commissioner, but I think there is it's a hot topic, and we're going to see lots of chat around the election regarding KiwiSaver
Yeah.
contributions and increasing those. One thing that Aussie did really well is that they were much more systematic in the form of increasing their contributions to super, whereas now
Okay.
they're north of 12%.
You said the stat about the increasing balance on average.
Yes.
Is that because of the maturity of KiwiSaver now, or is it because people have been contributing for longer? Are we seeing younger people joining the workforce, larger percentages of people continuing to contribute and contributing more?
I think we have more members than we've ever had.
Okay.
People have adopted KiwiSaver. People are contributing more. I think one of the biggest rising stats we're seeing is more people in growth funds. So
Okay.
to give you an idea, I think I'll probably get this wrong, but 5-ish years ago, let's say 10% of members were in a growth fund.
Mm.
Today it's 40. They're
Wow.
still really low. At Generate, 81%
Wow.
of our
Yeah.
members are in growth funds. Now, of course, growth funds are not, sorry, growth or aggressive funds. They're not suitable for everyone. So
Mm.
hence why we have balanced and moderate and
Yes.
conservative funds. But for the majority of people, I think that most people are in KiwiSaver for a long term.
Mm.
Therefore, typically growth or aggressive funds are suitable. So at Generate, that's one of the proudest stats we have is that 81% of our members are there. And the reason for that is because 91% of our members that have joined Generate have received some form of financial advice. So
That's amazing.
that's also due to the help of people like yourselves and advisors around the country, getting in front of people, talk to them, and educating them.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Simon. It's been a pleasure.
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that KiwiSaver isn't just a retirement account sitting in the background. For many Kiwis, it's one of the largest financial assets they'll ever own. And making good decisions today can have a huge impact decades down the track. If you'd like advice around KiwiSaver, managed funds, or broader financial strategy, reach out to the team at MHQ. Thanks for listening. In the next episode, Matt will sit down with our head of advice for insurance and KiwiSaver, Andy Turner, to go into a lot more exciting details. Tune in.